Question document examination is a term for a forensic science discipline pertaining to documents that are potentially disputed in a court of law. The primary purpose of this is to provide evidence about a suspicious or questionable document using a variety of scientific processes and methods. Evidence might include alterations, the chain of possession, damage to the document, forgery, origin, authenticity, or any other questions that come up when a document is challenged in court. Overview: many QD examinations involve a comparison of the question document, or components of the document, to a set of known standards. The most common type of examination involves handwriting, wherein the examiner tries to address concerns about potential authorship. A document examiner is often asked to determine if a questioned item originated from the same source as the known item, then present their opinion on the matter in court as an expert witness. Other common tasks include determining what has happened to a document, determining when a document was produced, or deciphering information on the document that has been obscured, obliterated or erased. The discipline is known by many names, including forensic document examination, diplomatics, handwriting examination, or sometimes handwriting analysis, although the latter term is not often used as it may be confused with graphology. Likewise, a forensic document examiner is not to be confused with a graphologist, and vice versa. Many FDEs receive extensive training in all of the different aspects of the discipline. As a result, they are competent to address a wide variety of questions about document evidence. However, this broad specialization approach has not been universally adopted. In some locales, a clear distinction is made between the terms forensic document examiner and a forensic handwriting expert examiner. In such cases, the former term refers to examiners who focus on non-handwriting examination types, while the latter refers to those trained exclusively to do handwriting examinations. Even in places where the more general meaning is common, such as North America or Australia, there are many individuals who have specialized training only in certain relatively limited areas. As the terminology varies from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, it is important to clarify the meaning of the title used by any given individual professing to be a forensic document examiner. Scope of document examination: a forensic document examiner is intimately linked to the legal system as a forensic scientist. Forensic science is the application of science to address issues under consideration in the legal system. FDEs examine items that form part of a case which may or may not come before a court of law. Common criminal charges involved in a document examination case fall into the white-collar crime category. These include identity theft, forgery, counterfeiting, fraud, or uttering a forged document. Question documents are often important in other contexts simply because documents are used in so many different contexts and for so many different purposes. For example, a person may commit murder and forge a suicide note. This is an example wherein a document is produced directly as a fundamental part of a crime. More often, a question document is simply the byproduct of normal day-to-day business or personal activities. The American Society for Testing and Materials International publishes standards for many methods and procedures used by FDEs. E30.02 was the ASTM subcommittee for question documents, and ASTM standard E444-09 indicates there are 4 components to the work of a forensic document examiner. It states that an examiner makes scientific examinations, comparisons, and analyses of documents in order to establish genuineness or non-genuineness, or to expose forgery, or to reveal alterations, additions or deletions, identify or eliminate persons as the source of handwriting, identify or eliminate the source of typewriting or other impression, marks, or relative evidence, and write reports or give testimony, when needed, to aid the users of the examiner's services in understanding the examiner's findings. Some FDEs limit their work to the examination and comparison of handwriting, but most inspect and examine the whole document in accordance with this ASTM standard. Types of document examined: documents feature prominently in all manner of business and personal affairs. Almost any type of document may become disputed in an investigation or litigation. For example, A question document may be a sheet of paper bearing handwriting or mechanically produced text such as a ransom note, a forged check or a business contract. Or it may be some material not normally thought of as a document. FDEs define the word document in a very broad sense as being any material bearing marks, signs or symbols intended to convey a message or meaning to someone. This encompasses traditional paper documents but also includes things like graffiti on a wall, stamp impressions on meat products, or cover markings hidden in a written letter, among other things. Historical cases: the National Archives forgeries, the Killian memos, the Im Clone/Martha Stewart trial, the Yellowcake forgery, the Nina Wang and the Teddy Wang wills, the anthrax attack mailings on the U.S. Senate, the John Boehner copyright T. Ramsey murder, the Paul Jennings Hill murders, the Hitler diaries, the Mark Hoffman forgeries and murders, the Mormon will, the Clifford Irving and the Howard Hughes biography, the Zodiac Killer, the Lindbergh kidnapping where comparison of the ransom note and Bruno Hauptmann's handwriting was crucial, the Adolf Beck cases where handwriting expert Thomas H. Guerin repeated an erroneous identification. The Dreyfus affair, although professional comparisons exonerating Dreyfus were ignored. The Howland will forgery trial, although the crimes were committed some time before the discipline of document examination was firmly established, the letters of the Jack the Ripper case have since been examined in great detail. Candidacy: a person who desires to enter a career of forensic document examination must possess certain traits and abilities. The ASTM Standard E2388-05 lists several requirements for the trainee candidate. First and foremost, an earned baccalaureate degree or equivalent from an accredited college or university is required as it gives the aspirant a scientific background with which to approach the work in an objective manner, as well as bestowing necessary biological, physical, and chemical knowledge sometimes called upon in the work. Second, excellent eyesight is required in order to see fine details that are otherwise inconspicuous. To this end, the aspirant must successfully complete a form discrimination test in order to ensure that the aspirant does not suffer from the condition of being unable to tell apart two similarly appearing yet different items, a color perception test, and near and distant visual acuity tests with best corrected vision within 6 months prior to commencement of training. Beyond the above, additional desirable skills would include knowledge of paper, ink, printing processes, or handwriting. Training: there are 3 possible methods of instruction for an aspiring document examiner. Self-education is the way in which the pioneers of the field began, as there was no other method of instruction. Apprenticeship has become the widespread manner in which many examiners are now taught. In fact, this is the method that is recommended by ASTM in Standard E2388-05. To conform with the ASTM standard, such training shall be the equivalent of a minimum of 24 months full-time training under the supervision of a principal trainer, and the training program shall be successfully completed in a period not to exceed 4 years. The training program must also include an extensive list of specific syllabus topics outlined in ASTM Standard E2388-05. College and university programs are both very limited at this time. This is due, in part, to the relatively limited demand for forensic document examiners. It also relates to the need for extensive practical experience, particularly with respect to handwriting examination. It is difficult to include this degree of practical experience in a normal academic program. There are some distance learning courses available as well. These are taught through a virtual reality classroom and may include an apprenticeship program, a correspondence course, or both. A trainee must learn how to present evidence before the court in clear, forceful testimony. Fledgling examiners in the later stages of training can get a glimpse into the legal process as well as a better sense of this aspect of their work through participation in a mock trial or by attending actual court hearings to observe the testimony of qualified examiners. These are guidelines and not requirements. Examination examination types examinations and comparisons conducted by document examiners can be quite diverse and may involve any of the following: handwriting and signatures, typewriters, photocopiers, laser printers, inkjet printers, fax machines, checker writers, rubber stamps, price markers, label makers, printing processes, ink, pencil, paper, alterations, additions, erasures, obliterations, indentation detection and/or decipherment, sequence determination, physical matching. Principle of identification equals, the concept of identification as it is applied in the forensic sciences is open to some discussion and debate. Nonetheless, the traditional approach in the discipline of forensic document examination is best expressed as follows. When any two items possess a combination of independent discriminating elements that are similar and/or correspond in their relationships to one another, of such number and significance as to preclude the possibility of their occurrence by pure coincidence, and there are no inexplicable disparities, it may be concluded that they are the same in nature or are related to a common source. The evaluation of such characteristics at the present time is predominantly subjective in nature, though efforts to quantify this type of information in a meaningful manner are ongoing. Subjective evaluation does not mean that the results of properly conducted comparisons will be either unreliable or inaccurate. To the contrary, scientific testing has shown that professional document examiners outperform laypersons when comparing handwriting or signatures to assess authorship. However, this type of subjective analysis depends greatly upon the competency of an individual examiner. It follows that 1. An examiner should follow appropriate case examination protocols carefully and evaluate all possible propositions. 2. An examiner should be properly trained and their training should include adequate testing of their abilities. 3. The formal case examination procedure should incorporate some form of secondary review. And 4. Every examiner should make every effort to demonstrate and maintain their competency through professional certification and ongoing proficiency testing. Handwriting examinations the examination of handwriting to assess potential authorship proceeds from the above principle of identification by applying it to a comparison of samples of handwritten material. Generally, there are 3 stages in the process of examination. In brief, they are: analysis. The questioned and the known items are analyzed and broken down to directly perceptible characteristics. Comparison. The characteristics of the questioned item are then compared against the known standard. Evaluation. Similarities and differences in the compared properties are evaluated and this determines which ones are valuable for a conclusion. This depends on the uniqueness and frequency of occurrence in the items. Optionally, the procedure may involve a 4th step consisting of verification, validation or peer review. ASTM has published a standard guide for the examination of handwriting entitled E2290-07A, Examination of Handwritten Items. Note: some of the guides listed under other examinations also apply to forensic handwriting comparisons. An alternative guide for the examination of handwriting and signatures has been developed by the Forensic Expertise Profiling Laboratory. Other examinations aside from E2290 mentioned above, many standard guides pertaining to the examination of question documents have been published by ASTM International. They include the following: E444-06 Scope of Work relating to forensic document examiners, E2195-02 Terminology, Examination of question documents, E1658-08 Terminology, Expressing conclusions of forensic document examiners, E1422-05 Test methods for forensic writing ink comparison, E1789-04 Writing ink identification, E2285-03 Examination of mechanical checkwriter impressions, E2286-03 Examination of dry seal impressions, E2287-03 Examination of fracture patterns and paper fiber impressions on single-strike film ribbons and type text, E2288-03 Physical match of paper cuts, tears, and perforations in forensic document examinations, E2289-08 Examination of rubber stamp impressions, E2291-03 Indentation examinations, E2325-05 Non-destructive examination of paper, E2331-04 Examination of altered documents, E2388-05 Minimum training requirements for forensic document examiners. E2389-05 Examination of documents produced with liquid inkjet technology, E2390-06 Examination of documents produced with toner technology, E2494-08 Standard Guide for Examination of Typewritten Items. Note: not all laboratories or examiners use or follow ASTM guidelines. These are guidelines and not requirements. There are other ASTM guides of a more general nature that apply. Copies of ASTM standards can be obtained directly from ASTM International. Common tools of the trade: excellent eyesight, Handlin's loop, stereomicroscope, electrostatic detection device, video spectral comparator. Professional organizations, links are provided below. Dedicated to question document examination equals American Society of Question Document Examiners, USA and Canada, Australasian Society of Forensic Document Examiners Incorporated Australia Asia. Note: formerly the Australian Society of Forensic Document Examiners. Associatia Cube den Professional de Peritos Caligrafos de Catalua plus or minus a, European Network of Forensic Handwriting Experts, European Document Experts Working Group, Southeastern Association of Forensic Document Examiners, Southeast USA, Southwestern Association of Forensic Document Examiners, Southwest USA, Gesellschaft für One-Quarter Forensische Untersuchung, Frankfurt, National Association of Document Examiners, Association of Forensic Document Examiners, the Scientific Association of Forensic Examiners. General Forensic Science Associations with QDE sections American Academy of Forensic Sciences, USA, Canadian Society of Forensic Science, Canada, Australian and New Zealand Forensic Science Society, European Network of Forensic Science Institutes, Forensic Science Society, United Kingdom, International Association for Identification, Mid-Atlantic Association of Forensic Scientists. Academic research groups with interest in QDE International Graphonomics Society, Center of Excellence for Document Analysis and Recognition, Purdue Sensor and Printer Forensics Project. Certification: due to the nature of certification, there are many different bodies that provide this service. Most provide certification to individuals from a particular country or geographic area. In some places, the term accreditation may be used instead of certification. Either way, in the present context, it refers to the assessment of an examiner's competency and qualifications by an independent organization of professionals. International certifying bodies Forensic Science Society. The Forensic Science Society provides their members with the opportunity to obtain a professional postgraduate diploma in various forensic disciplines, including question document examination. The program is accredited by the University of Strathclyde. Successful applicants are entitled to use the postnominal FSSOC DIP. Since membership in the FSS, UK, is open to anyone regardless of where they live or work, this is effectively an international type of certification. USA, Canada and Mexico American Board of Forensic Document Examiners. The American Board of Forensic Document Examiners, Incorporated provides third-party certification for professional forensic document examiners from Canada, Mexico, the United States of America as well as Australia and New Zealand. Board of Forensic Document Examiners. The Board of Forensic Document Examiners also provides certification of forensic document examiners. Notes: ABCDEASTM International. These guides are under the jurisdiction of ASTM Committee E30 on Forensic Sciences and the direct responsibility of Subcommittee E30.02 on question documents. Copies of ASTM standards can be obtained directly from ASTM International. In biometrics, this concept is generally referred to as either verification or authentication, while the term identification is used to assign an individual to a particular class or group. Huber, Roy A. Theodoric, A.M., Handwriting Identification, Facts and Fundamentals, New York, CRC Press, pages 84, ISBN 0-8493-1285-X, Cam A.L. A Decade of Writer Identification Proficiency Tests for Forensic Document Examiners, ASQDE, 2003. Huber and Headrick 1999, pg. 34. ASFDE Incorporated History. Retrieved December 30, 2010. Qualifications and Awards. UK, The Forensic Science Society. Retrieved December 30, 2010. ABFDE Rules and Procedures Guide. General Qualifications, Para 1.2. ABFDE. Incorporated. Retrieved January 21, 2014. See also, Images of Signatures, Ontario Centre of Forensic Sciences, Canadian Identification Society, Cedar Fox. References. The literature relating to question document examination is very extensive. Publications in English, French, German and other languages are readily available. The following is a very brief list of English-language textbooks. Osborne, A.S. Question Documents, 2nd ed. Albany, New York, Boyd Printing Company. Reprinted, Chicago, Nelson Hall Company. Harrison, W. A Suspect Documents, Their Scientific Examination. New York, Praeger. Conway, J.V.P. Evidential Documents. Illinois, Charles C. Thomas. Hilton, O. Scientific Examination of Question Documents. New York, Elsevier Science Publishing Company. Huber R. A. and Headrick A. M. Handwriting Identification, Facts and Fundamentals. Boca Raton, CRC Press. Ellen, D. Scientific Examination of Documents, Methods and Techniques, 3rd edition. Boca Raton, CRC Press. Morris, R. Forensic Handwriting Identification, Fundamental Concepts and Principles. Academic Press. Levinson, J. Question Documents, A Lawyer's Handbook. San Diego, Academic Press. Carr Paragraph Lair N., Nissen K., Ria M. and Sadorfi Probabilistische Schlussfolgerungen in Schriftgutachten/Probability Conclusions in Expert Opinions on Handwriting, Luchterhand, Munchen available online in German and English. 1.